Hello, and welcome to the Jared Hurst Podcast. This podcast is a place of transformation, growth, spirituality, and connection. So, you'll notice I have a brand new introduction. I'm sitting down, a little different feel. So, there's a reason for that. I've really been thinking about the podcast and the direction I want to take it, what makes the most sense. I've got a lot of things going on in my life, and to be honest, it's been really challenging finding the time for the podcast. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and I know there are people that listen on a regular basis every time I release content. I want to still keep creating content for those people because I want them to be able to have a resource that they can go to for this kind of thing. And so I've been thinking a little bit about how to do that. One of the things that I really considered is maybe that I let the podcast go. The reason for that is because of all the things I've got going on in my life. One, I'm a real estate agent. I spend a decent amount of time helping people find and sell homes. So that takes up some of my time, and I really want to be able to continue to do that so that way I can help people, because I feel like real estate is a really important thing for people. It's like their biggest investment for most everybody. So because of that, want to continue to have time for that. In addition to that, I also do coaching, one-on-one, and soon I'm going to be doing group coaching. I do events and seminars, which I'll bring people in to. Right now I'm doing about one a quarter, though I'm trying to get that to where I'm doing 5 or 6 events per year. I've got a business partner that I'm working with. We have a really great time. She's incredible. And I love doing that. So I want to keep putting a lot of time and effort into that. I do breath work weekly in Ogden. So that takes up a lot of time. I also want to do more public speaking and events and things like that. So it's just between, and then also I've got my website. My website I've been working on, I'm finishing that up. I'm going to have a membership on there where people can do breath work and they can do one-on-one coaching, and there's going to be group coaching, and there's going to be a whole bunch of different elements so that people can grow and transform and all those kinds of things. So I'm really passionate about being able to help people. So how do I make enough time to help people in all the different elements of life that I want to help people and still do the podcast? And I looked at it. I said, the truth of the matter is that most of the time, the topics that I talk about here on the podcast are based on what's going on in my daily life. And the thing is when I'm doing the podcast, a lot of the times I try and have really deep thoughts and ahas and really flesh out these things that are going on in my life and turn it into something that I can talk about for 15, 20 minutes. But that takes a certain amount of preparation and effort. And obviously I want to do effort, but I want to be able to make sure that it fits with everything else that I've got going. So the solution that I've come up with, and the way that I'm going to approach the podcast in the future, is it's going to be almost like a video journal, but from the standpoint that I'm talking about the things that I'm working on in my life, the things that have been coming up in my life, which is the same topics that I've already been talking with you about, but it's going to be more of a conversational situation, kind of like what we've got here, or just talk about how it's been affecting my life and how it's been used in my life and how that thing can be used and affected in your life. So hopefully you'll find a lot of value in it. I'm going to try and keep them shorter. I may have episodes that are 5 minutes long. I may have episodes that still go 15 minutes, but my main goal is to get something out at least once a week so you have something that you can tune into and listen to and still be something of value that helps you grow in your life. So as you'll notice, it's important to me that we talk about growth and transformation, that we talk about spirituality, religion, science, and connection with others, with ourselves, with other people. It's not like the things that I'm interested in have dramatically changed. There's just some new elements I want to bring in, and I want to have more breadth of topics. Hopefully I can get people on here and we can have some more discussions, but that is a big time constraint, like being able to go find people to bring them on the podcast and meet with them and work around their schedule and everything. That's one of the reasons why I'm not doing a lot of interviews. I'd love to do more. Hopefully, as I become more successful and become more well known, I'll be able to demand more people that want to meet with me and talk with me. So we'll see how things transpire. So this week, now that I've got that introduction out of the way, you kind of understand where things are going. I thought about waiting till the new year, but no time to start like the present. One of the things that's really been on my mind lately is emotional momentum. If you think about it, you wake up in the morning and you're really stressed about something or you're anxious about something, and it just starts your whole day off terrible. What ends up happening is it ends up affecting your habits, it affects your emotions, it affects your thoughts, your actions, and everything else kind of leads off of that. That energy, you know how momentum works. This leads to this, and it kind of grows and it snowballs. So when you start off the day upset or anxious or fearful or something along those lines, then it affects your life. You end up going to brush your teeth and you accidentally put too much toothpaste on and it drops on your shirt. You end up having to go change your shirt. You're frustrated because you didn't really have time to go change your shirt. So then all of a sudden you interact differently with your coworkers at work. Everything that happens throughout the day ends up picking up that same energy, and it just kind of compiles throughout the day. And so the thought that I've really been thinking about lately, the thing that I've been trying to implement in my life, is how can I start off my day in a really positive energy, or at least an empowering one, and then continue to snowball that in the other direction. Because I'd much rather be happy or empowered versus frustrated, sad, anxious, etc. So one of the things I've been doing is, as soon as I wake up in the morning, is I try and have something that is going to put me into the right energy for the remainder of the day. And that doesn't mean that every day is going to be amazing. If I have a reason to be excited, or I can find a reason to be excited, then I'll wake up and I try and make it to where the very first thought as soon as I open my eyes is something of, I'm excited, I can't wait for today. Okay? Now, if that's what's going on and I have something to be excited about, or I can find a way to be excited about it, that's my preferred energy. Then if it's not that, maybe I wake up and the first thing is I try and think of something I'm grateful for. But let's say I've got some really difficult stuff going on in my life. You can still be in a high vibration, positive energy without being excited or grateful for what's going on. Because it's not always easy to feel grateful, especially when you've got difficult things affecting your life. So what you end up doing is you can wake up with an empowering mindset. For instance, I had some struggles recently with a real estate client where some things weren't going the way that we wanted to. Nothing my client did or that I did. It was just part of life. And I thought about that moment. I said, how do I want to approach this situation? How do I want to come to this person? And I thought to myself, I want to come to them in an energy of solution. So I went out, I looked at the problem that was ahead of us, and I found solutions, and then I came to them with solutions already in place. Look, here's the situation. Here are your options. Here are some solutions I've already found. How would you like to handle this situation? There's a lot less fear and anxiety with my client if I can come to them from a state of, I've got this, we've got this, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna find solutions, we're going to tackle this problem in a productive, growth-minded way. So whatever you've got going on in your life, you can choose to wake up the day in a state of resolution, resilience, where you're like, I can handle this, I've got this. or gratitude or excitement or enthusiasm or whatever. But start with some type of empowering emotion and then try and grow that throughout the course of your day. Make an intentional, deliberate decision to take this emotion that I start with and feed it. So if I wake up and I'm having this hard day, I'm like, we're going to find solutions. We're going to make this happen. Then I go out, I start making some phone calls, talking with people, trying to find solutions to my problem. Then I find a couple solutions, I start feeling better. Then I'm interacting with people. Because of the way my life is, a lot of the times I am out and about in society during the course of the day because I'm not in an office. I'm out going to the gym, I'm out going grocery shopping, I'm driving around to look at a house, whatever it is that I'm doing on the day, a lot of the times I'm out and about. So as I see people, I choose to feed into that energy. I try and say hi to people that I've never met before and be nice and kind to them. Give people compliments. Congratulate people on different things. Just be in energies that is going to feed me into a state of positivity. This isn't toxic optimism. This isn't going out and putting your head in the sand. It is attacking life with an energy that will serve you and then continuing to feed that and escalate it throughout the day. Because if I start off with, man, I'm excited for today, and then I go talk to somebody and I ask them how their day is, and then I start looking around and thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for, and then I start listening to some audio recordings that I've made and thinking about how much I love myself and my life and how much I've grown and things like that. Then all of a sudden, by the end of the day, I'm feeling on top of the world. I love my life. I love where I'm going. I'm proud of the things that I've done over the course of the day. I'm proud of the things that I've been doing over the last couple months of my life. And everything just feeds into each other. And then all of a sudden, when the hard things come, you have something really difficult hit the fan. You're already more, not prone, but you're just set up to handle it better. Think about when you are excited, happy, confident, and then something happens, how much better you handle it. The solutions come to you easier. The things don't seem as hard and as difficult as they would have. I think that's why it's so important to get good sleep. It's why it's so important to eat right. It's why it's important to go to the gym. Those things all create physiological bandwidth and energy in order to make you more resilient. But you also can get there energetically and mindset-wise based on the things that you pour into yourself over the course of the day. So that's where I would recommend looking at your life. Ask yourself, what energy am I starting my day with? Am I being deliberate with the first thoughts that go through my mind? Do I continue to take that energy and am I moving myself in a positive direction or a negative direction over the course of the day? And just because something happens and all of a sudden you don't handle it the way that you want to, maybe you lose track of that you're trying to stay in a positive energy, or something just hits you so hard that you can't really stay in that energy and flow that you want to, don't criticize yourself. Don't be overly hard on yourself. You're a human being. Things happen. You don't react the way that you want. You forget what you're trying to work on. You fall back into old habits and old patterns. It's just part of life. Don't allow that to be an excuse to intentionally let yourself go. I think we all have been there, where we have these moments and we really want to do something, and then we make an excuse of like, well, it's okay, I'm just human. I'll eat that donut even though I've really promised myself that I wasn't going to do sugar this month. And then you just keep justifying away your life. don't do that. But also give yourself grace, compassion, love, and work through those downs and get that momentum going back the other direction. So that is today. Emotional momentum. Look at it, see how it can help you in your life. I believe in you. I know you can do it. And until next time, remember that you're not alone.